So about 6 or 7 years ago, I actually had a friend of mine who I was living here in Utah with a job and was talking to him and just had mentioned that I was interested in potentially buying a house. And he just said, hey, I have a guy, I know somebody, you ought to give him a call. And it was actually Brian at the time. And so he sent me Brian's information and just called up Brian and chatted with him for probably about 30 minutes and just talked about what I was trying to accomplish and what I was looking for and just kind of where I was in my life and went from there. But we actually ended up not doing anything then. I ended up moving out of state shortly thereafter. But then when I came back, I actually couldn't remember Brian's name at the time. But when I came back, I said, hey, to my friend, I said, hey, I talked to somebody previously about a house and I was wondering if I could get his information again. So he sent it to me again. And that was the start of buying a house with the Be Heard team. Trustworthy would be that word. And actually trustworthy because I felt like in talking with Brian and then with Justin, who I ended up working with ultimately, Brian put me in touch with Justin, they just constantly wanted to talk about, well, what are you trying to accomplish? Where are you trying to go? What's your long-term goals? And just really giving me all of the information to make the best decision for myself and for my family. That's really what made me want to work with them, was just that fact that they weren't concerned about the sale. They were more concerned about me being educated and knowing what specifically it was that I was trying to accomplish, so that at the end of the day, I was making a decision that I felt very good with. I've had some real estate friends in the past, but I'd never actually worked with an actual realtor. Actually, that is not true. That's not true. I have. When I lived in California, we were looking at, because we thought we were going to be there long term and it didn't work out, but we started looking and worked with a realtor there, and that was a rather interesting experience actually. That experience, that realtor, actually I don't think really was too concerned about what we were trying to do. When we were talking about what our budget was, when we talked about what we wanted in a house and things, I just remember honestly that we were sitting down in a meeting and we said, this is what we would like to spend on a house. And they actually laughed at us and kind of were just, that's unrealistic. We can't get you to that point, especially here in California. Instead of really just saying, well, and talking through it, they just kind of laughed about it. And so that really kind of soured us to just that experience in general. And then coming and working with Justin here at the Be Heard team, he really just, he talked to us about our budget. He talked to us about wants and needs and desires. He talked to us about all of those things, and then went out and found houses that matched those criteria for us, which made it a lot better, smoother, simpler, just an easier experience all around. It's actually really good to have that resource. I'm somebody that likes to have kind of a constant connection with somebody that I'm going to do business with, just because I'm the type of person that is always interested in what's going on in the market, in any market really. And so especially in the housing market, Justin and I probably talk at least monthly about what we're doing or what's going on in the market, what Adrian and I are trying to accomplish, what our goals are. Are we curious at maybe is our house value up high? Does it make sense to sell? Does it not make sense to sell, right? And he's always been really helpful in that world and just saying, this is what's happening in the market. What you guys want to do is obviously up to you, but I'm always here to answer questions, talk to you about what's going on, things that you're seeing. For example, maybe just last month I called him up and because we're starting to see Homey, the apps show up, and we're starting to see signs in in our neighborhood of people that are using the Homey app to sell their home. And so I just called and talked to him about that, and he just had a really great reason and answer of why it's working, but also what people may want or not want when it comes to it. And it's those kinds of things, not shying away from what maybe the competition would be in his world, right? And just saying, hey, here's the reality of what exists and what it is and what's going on and why you should or shouldn't use that. And I'm always here to help regardless of what you decide. That's always been something that I've really liked about it and why I will continue to work with them.